What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Happy Friday as we continue our 31 Days of Disney, and today we're going to be discussing Kronk's New Groove, featuring the voice talents of Patrick Warburton, Tracy Ullman, Eartha Kitt, David Spade, John Goodman, Wendy Malick, and John Mahoney. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Friday. Happy Friday. We got a lot of stuff going on in store this weekend on the Casa D18 Studios channel, across the multiverse of media. But first and foremost, we're here today to discuss Kronk's New Groove. And as our movie opens, Emperor Kuzco narrates the story of Kronk, who is now the chef and head delivery boy at Mudka's Meat Hut, and is fretting over the upcoming visit of his father. Now, Kronk's father has always disapproved of young Kronk's culinary interests and wishes that instead Kronk would settle down with a wife and a large house on a hill. In a flashback, Kronk tells the story of how he almost had both of these things. As an unwitting accomplice to Yzma, who is now human again despite still having a tail, he goes along with her plan to sell sewer slime as a youth potion. Now, Kronk is able to make enough money to buy the old folks' home from the old folks and puts his large home there. Eventually, though, Yzma is revealed as a fake, and the old folks chase her down and corner her at a bridge over a river of crocodiles. In order to prevent them from attacking her, she transforms herself into a rabbit, but is then caught and taken away by a condor. Now, when Kronk realizes that the old folks have sold everything that they own in return for something which doesn't work, he gives his home back to them. As the camp counselor of the junior chipmunks at Camp Chipamunk, Kronk falls in love with his fellow counselor, Miss Birdwell. But when one of his chipmunks, Tipo, pulls a prank in order to win the camp championship and is caught, Kronk, feeling responsible for the situation due to having previously told his chipmunks to do whatever it takes to win, protects the boy at the cost of alienating his love. Kronk's father arrives and confusion begins to ensue as several supportive friends try to pass themselves off as Kronk's wife and kids. But in the end, Kronk realizes that his wealth is in his friendships, and this finally wins his father's thumb up and Miss Birdwell's love. Meanwhile, just outside the house, Yzma is in the condor's nest with two eggs, which hatch and attack her as the credits roll and our movie comes to its close. I have never been a fan of The Emperor's New Groove. We did that a few days ago. I mentioned it then. If you missed that review, I'll go ahead and I'll link it up here and check it out. I'm just not the biggest David Spade fan at the end of the day. His SNL stuff was okay. Outside of that, questionable at best, most of it teetering on unwatchable as far as I'm concerned. Kronk's New Groove was better than the original. A lot of that had to do with the fact that Kuzco's role, which meant David Spade's role, substantially scaled back. There was just enough to add the flavor necessary. Eartha Kitt was back as Yzma. John Goodman was back as Pacha. The regulars returned, and we focused on a side character for this story that really kind of became a fan favorite when it wasn't his movie. You could argue that Kronk stole the Emperor's New Groove away from Kuzco. But even in that movie, he wasn't predominant. He was just a goofball that everybody kind of fell in love with. I enjoyed this being focused around him, and I liked the message here. It's one of those just be yourself type of tales. Don't try to cater to somebody's expectation of who you are and what you should be. If they truly love you, significant other, parent, whatever, they'll love you for you. And that's kind of what's at the core here. And I thought it was perfectly told in two separate stories. Kronk trying to get the money to have this lavish life that his father wants him to have by relegating himself back with Yzma, and Kronk being a counselor, finding the love of his life, only to lose it because of his do whatever it takes to win mentality. And then at the end of the day, both things kind of come back to him because he doesn't need the riches because the friendships that he has. And the woman realizing that he wasn't trying to be spiteful, vindictive, comes back to him. And everything works itself out in a perfect Disney ending. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can find this as a standalone anymore. I know a lot of releases for this have it and Emperor's New Groove kind of paired up as a 2-disc. If I can find it as a standalone, maybe I'll add it to my collection. If I have to buckle down for the 2-pack, like a lot of these movies, it's just going to depend on money and what it costs. It's not a priority for me to add it to my collection, but as the Disney fanatic as I am, I would eventually like to own all the animated classics on hard physical media, because that's what I do. I support physical media. We love physical media here at the Casa D18 Studios and Renegades Reviews. I listen all the time to Jeff at Films at Home and Heath at Serial at Midnight. Physical media, while not as apparent in retail stores, still isn't dying. There's still releases coming out. There's ways to seek out the product. You just have to know where to look and how to purchase it. When it comes to my rating for Kronk's New Groove, I'm going to go and give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it more than The Emperor's New Groove. And like I said, a lot of that had to do with Kronk being prominent, the other characters being back, and Kuzco being incredibly scaled back. What did you guys think of Kronk's New Groove? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And this time we go back to the Stitch franchise to wrap up our coverage of said franchise for this month. Going to take a look at Leroy and Stitch, featuring the voice talents of Davey Chase back in the role of Lilo, Tia Carrere, David Ogden Stiers, Kevin McDonald, Ving Rhames, Kevin Michael Richardson, Zoe Caldwell, Liliana Mummy, Jeff Bennett, Rob Paulson, Tara Strong, Frank Welker, Nancy Cartwright, Tress McNeil, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Chris Sanders. And then after that, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiversa Media, we will be providing our coverage of Impact Slammiversary. The Simple Man Noah Foster, the Heeb Man James Hebert will be on the call, calling the play-by-play action and giving their live reactions as Slammiversary and Impact Wrestling celebrate another anniversary. And then immediately following that on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiversa Media, it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, the Simple Man Noah Foster, the He-Man James Hebert will all be in attendance, as well as whoever from the Multiversa Media decides that they want to step into the studio, up to the microphone, and engage us in the week of professional wrestling conversation. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiversa Media. Leroy and Stitch, Slammiversary, Open Mic Night, and so much more still in store as we continue our 31 days of Disney right here on Renegades Reviews. Again, you don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Patrick Warburton, fans of David Spade, fans of Eartha Kitt, fans of John Goodman, fans of The Emperor's New Groove, fans of Kronk, fans of animated Disney movies. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them, as it's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithms now that we are in fact a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in this afternoon. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.